Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Rama
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare
Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Rama Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama Hare
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 Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Rama Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
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 Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama
Rama
Rama Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama
Rama
Hare
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 Hare Krishna Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare Rama
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 Hare
Rama
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Hare Hare
Rama Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
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 Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama
Rama Rama
Rama Hare
Rama
Hare
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 Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
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 Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama
Rama
Hare
Hare Rama
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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Gauranga Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Gaura Haridas Vishvamba Jesus Jesus, Jesus, Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga. Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga, Lalita Ganga. You're the man, you're the man, you're the man. Freddie and Balaram. Akate Bande Men Hyundai. Oh, Krishna, take Lord, you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jesus, 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 Jai Jesus. Jai Jesus, Jai Jesus, Jai Jesus, Jai.
Nityananda Gauranga Gauranga Nityananda
Goranga, Goranga, Goranga,
Gauranga
Goranga, Goranga, Jananda, Goranga,
Nityananda
Goranga, Goranga.
Nityananda
Nityananda Goranga 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 Nityananda Goranga Goranga Gor
Nityananda
Goranga Goranga Nityananda Goranga Goranga Nityananda Goranga 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 Nityananda Goranga
I have a hard time getting into this today, you know.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I just sometimes I wonder about people here, some of the devotees here, or one of the devotees here. You know, piss me off. You know, I got a guy invading my privacy yesterday. You know, and just ridiculous. I mean, it's like, do you think, does anybody like the government looking at what you're doing? And I got a devotee here. It's such an audacious, ridiculous. It just pissed me off, man. You know, I just can't believe it. So much disrespect for their guru. It spoils my whole bhajan. I got to sit here feeling really angry about it, man. So anyway, that's my honest feeling. Why? For what? See, some devious, devilish thing? See, this is what some devotees have in them. Anyway, I'm blocking that guy also for a while, like 2 months at least. And then let's see if there's any remorse. So sorry, but that's, just my mood today. I just feel really pissed off about that, I mean,
We'll get over it, Maharaj.
unbelievable. Kind of qualities some people like that. Sickening. Really. Yeah, I mean, there's a point where you need all the devotees. You need to see. You don't want to lose the shelter of the devotees. What are you going to have? You have. What do you want? The shelter of Maya, the illusion, people, and the world. Why wouldn't you want to treat the devotees with respect? You know, and to actually be blatantly like that is really it's really bad. No wonder certain devotees get blocked here. I don't now. I'm understanding. Why? So anyway, I'll see if I can salvage any more of this talk we have here. I'll just read a little bit here. So, River, why don't you read something here?
What would, what would you like me to read, Maharaj?
Read Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Anything in particular? I have the book here. Can you hear me, Maharaj?
Oh, is it? Oh, I see.
Yeah, I have the book. Is there anything in particular you want me to read?
I'll read anything you want.
Okay. I had my marker on Adikanda chapter 15. If you like, Sri Nimai marries Sri Vishnu Priya.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, thank you, Maharaj. All glories to Lord Gaurachandra, and all glories to Lord Nityananda. Lord, kindly offer me your lotus feet, so that I may hold them, within the innermost recesses of my heart. All glory to Lord Gauranga and his associates. One achieves devotional service to the Supreme Lord just by hearing the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya. The Lord continued to perform his pastimes as a scholar without anyone detecting his absolute identity. He rose early each morning, performed his daily religious duties, offered obeisances to his mother, and went to teach his students. Mukunda Sanjay was an eternal servant of the Lord, and his son was Purusattama Das. Mukunda Sanjay was so fortunate that the Lord went to his house every day to teach. Nimai would sit alone in the courtyard in front of the temple of Durga, and gradually his students would assemble. Occasionally, some students would forget to mark his forehead with the tilak. As the propagator and maintainer of the Sanatan Dham, Nimai felt compelled to protect the conditioned souls from deviating from the path of religion. Therefore, he never neglected to rectify his students when necessary. He would chastise the forgetful boy to such a degree that the students would acquiesce in shame and certainly never again forget to apply his My dear boy, I see that you have not put on tilak. What is the reason for this? Would demand Nimai. The Vedic.
It's funny. This is with people. Generally, they gravitate. See, you can look at two things in these leelas. So one is the spontaneous, the raganuga aspect, and the other is this external thing. The tilak, and if your mind is like on the materialistic platform of rules, regulations. Still, you're just beginning. You look at that. You see, Lord Chaitanya said that, and they do that to me all the time because I'm preaching the other side of it, which, when you really look at the Leela, is really emphasized and shown. Uh, but this is in there too. See, so if you're on the regulative platform, your consciousness is there. You'll go right there, and you see how the Lord it's like so amazing how he taught, because whatever level you want to look at is in the Leelas, in the Bhagavatam, in the Gita, and also especially here. He's working on both levels. But if that's why but if you try to fault a devotee, see, and so that's why they have. You see, Gohar, he's not, and he's teaching this. This is not what Lord Chaitanya taught. He taught you got it. It's very important to apply tilak on your head. I mean, is it really? I mean, come on, you really think that's really important? It's just it's a body thing. External. So, but if you're an external devotee, you see, and then you'll follow like this. You'll follow in those footsteps. You follow Varnashram Dharma. See, same idea. Follow Varnashram Dharma because it's taught there. Ramananda Roy even said, when he started the conversation with Lord Chaitanya, or Lord Chaitanya asked, "Well, what's the maximum goal of life and the means to attain it?" Ramananda Roy said, "Varnashram Dharma." One should follow the rules, the varna and ashram, that you're and follow that system, and then you will attain the ultimate perfection of life. See, and people see, you see, it's in there. You're supposed to follow varna, but they won't even understand that the Lord said, "Oh, but that's external devotional service. Please move on." He rejected it and said, "There's something deeper." See, that's called progressive Vaishnavism. See, that's what people don't have. They're stuck in that box. See, that level. Okay? How are they going to get out of that on their own? See, people think I'll just follow the Vaidhi path and I'll just automatically get out. But you're in a box, man. You need to be lifted. You need to be saved to the next level. That's the idea of having Shiksha Guru. If you don't have a Shiksha Guru, you cannot be lifted to that level. You just won't know how to get out of the box because that box has been made for you, right? By the word of the devotees. And that's all you're qualified to see. So that's why, again, you have to listen to a person that is teaching a different level. You see, Lord Chaitanya even said, "Speak the word, speak a deeper word, create a reality for me that is not created, just show me the reality of a deeper vision of the absolute truth." See? That's why you need the living guru. Otherwise, if you're not, you need to be purified and qualified like that by the word. You're clean. You got to be cleansed and elevated to the next platform. Otherwise, you just stay in that loop. You notice? What if you guys didn't come here? You wouldn't get out of the loop. That's how it works. It's always worked like that. What if Jesus didn't come and speak some new words? Everybody would still be following the Pharisees. Even now, after 2,000 years, they still be in the loop. More probably worse because it's Kali Yuga and degraded now. Probably be no religion at all. Because that's what happens. When when Krishna left, gradually everything went down. See? And that's why Lord Chaitanya had to revive everything. So he had to bring it to a whole nother level. See, it went down to the point of religion again, at best. And then he had to bring it from religion, like we're doing here, bring it to the deeper level by showing the deeper level and by preaching about it too. Yeah. See, like here, people getting comfortable with you seeing, wow, this is really a nice way to worship God. This is, wow, this is, I feel these new feelings coming up in me, arising. Oh, wow, this is really new. Isn't it novel? See, something new. Like they say, the novel coronavirus. Huh? This is the novel ecstatic worship. We're reviving it again, bringing it forward again. Yeah, go ahead there, Reverend Rena.
Thank you, Maharaj. My dear boy, I see that you have not put on tilak. What is the reason for this? Would demand Nimai. The Vedic literature says that the forehead does not bear the mark of if says that the forehead that does not bear the mark of tilak is as good as a crematorium.
See, they say the scriptures say. See, the scriptures say. So, and that's the mandates. The scriptures say. So that's the you. That's why the devotees, they're not obligated to strictly follow the scriptures. See, because they've transcended. They've got the purpose of scriptures is basically to love God. Can you imagine the devotees don't even know that? The whole purpose of their following rules and regulations is to attain love for God.
And they
See?
haven't.
And or they may say they know that, but they don't know the way to do that. They're not clear. Oh, well, I can just like the Rhythmics. Oh, I can. We can just study our way to that position. We'll just read Prabhupada's books and get there. And they haven't gotten there yet. I haven't seen one. Oh, I can go to any of these gurus who they claim is authorized because he's got a degree, a PhD, or he's the group, the clerks in the GBC, the Varnashram Dharma, adherents. They say he's Guru Dev and the deliverer of the universe just by what they say. It's like saying fiat currency is valuable. See, the government says so. It's valuable, right? Just a piece of friggin' paper. There's nothing backing that, right? People are starting to wonder now. You notice that the fiat it's losing credibility, and they're trying to prop it up, and everything. And people say it's just fucking paper, man. Nothing backing it. It used to be gold backing it. It had some kind of some minerals, some resources. Now it's just a piece of paper, man. Toilet like and what's like toilet paper. So what? Wipe your ass with. You might have to use dollar bills someday to do that.
It's plastic now, Maharaj.
It's plastic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yours is plastic. Also in
No
India,
paper.
it's plastic.
You can't wipe your bum with that.
You can't even wipe your bum with it. It's really useless, man. Real pollution. You have to have landfills to put all this worthless plastic in. Anyway, see that that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. Yeah, yeah. And what was my point? I forgot my point.
He was talking about how the devotee, how they say this in the scriptures, and the devotees just follow that. They just follow what it says in the scriptures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Thinking
yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And it's all to lead. See, like Jesus said, all your fasting, all your following the scriptures. Isn't that amazing how his teachings are so Vaishnava? They're so perfectly fit. Yeah. He said all your scriptures, all of that is leading you to me. Leading you to the Raganuga devotee, the spontaneous devotee. He had the devotee with intimacy, the devotees whose heart is pure because of intimate ecstatic worship. See, it's all leading to the devotee. See, that's why even Ramananda Roy was giving the conversation. See, the Lord is showing how you get this. See, and how you get it is you have to be eager for it. You have to say, have to come to the point. This is so important for the Vaishnavas. If they understood this point, they would know the real path. Okay? That's what we're preaching, the real path here. See, you have to get to the point where you are like Lord Caitanya after a person says, well, here, I'll tell you the way to get to God. Varnashram Dharma, like Prabhupada, right? Prabhupada said that. And the devotees are still doing it after 50 years, right? But some come to the point like, is there any more? I follow the rules, right? It's maybe sort of okay. Like you were chanting your 16 rounds. It was sort of, you felt all right. But is there any more? You know? See, but what do you have to get that more is you always have to meet the devotee. This is what the Rhythmics don't know. They don't understand this point. No, I can just keep doing that. And you see, they stay Vaidhi. Look at Balaram. He's still staying on the same thing. He still can't understand because he's still satisfied doing that. He's not up to the point of really desiring more. You got to be like Lord Chaitanya was an example. God, Ramananda Roy, come on, don't you know any more about God? Well, isn't there any deeper understanding? I mean, these rules are kind of external. You know, it's like trying to get happiness from gold or silver, and you get to this point, maybe you got a little Ross from that, but you think, is that it? Something's missing. See, you got really, and that's when you start to open up a little bit. You don't think that you just know everything about bhakti because you're still okay with it. You know, it's still good enough. But that's how it is for coming here. Everything is leading to the bona fide spiritual master, to hearing in an open mode, and getting purified to come to the next platform. Yeah, otherwise it won't work. See, Ramana and I had this conversation. You're purified by the conversation. See how the Lord Jesus said, "You're clean by the word I spoke to you for 3 years." You're cleansed, you're clean, and the spirit awakens, and then you have experiences like River. See, she followed the same path. Isn't that funny? The real path is always the same friggin' path. Maharaj Pariksit, same thing. He attained love of God by hearing from a devotee who had love of God. See, that's why respectful hearing from devotee. So otherwise you don't get there. A lot of people. That's why there are devotees here that may not be so ecstatic. They're not empowered so much because there's some doubt or stuff. And so they got to get over that eventually and understand really clearly that this is the way. Look at Veda Vyas. Even Veda Vyas, he taught the rules and regulations, not just followed them. He was teaching them. And above that, he was teaching liberation principles. And his heart, see, he became like, God, why is my heart not satisfied? I did all this welfare work. I wrote all these Vedic principles and Vedic sequences of how to follow this rule and that rule, and Varna and ashram and the duties and all that, but my heart is still not satisfied. Did he get over it himself? Huh? Even Vedavyas didn't get over. Why are these little whippersnappers, these little Vaidhi Bhaktas think they can get over it? Why does Balaram think he can get over it? If Vedavyas couldn't get over it on his own, who helped Vedavyas? He prayed to the Lord, like, I'm not satisfied doing this Balaram trip that they're preaching, the Rhythmics forever. Like all I need is Prabhupada. You see, that's not how our books are even set up. They're not showing that story. That story ain't authorized. You got to hear the real story. You got to get the real story. The real story is Veda Vyas. He followed the rules and regulations. Like, let me thank you for your service, Balaram. Like Balaram. Well, he's sort of, I don't think he follows so strictly either. I don't think anybody can really. I can't either. I don't want to. I want the easy way. Don't everybody want the easy way is the right way. You just got to get the info, the right information. We got the right info, Yeah, so Veda Vyas, he didn't get in there by following Prabhupada's program only, right? He taught Prabhupada's program. He created Prabhupada's program. And he's still I can't figure out what it is. You see, you got to come to that point. Well, I want something more. Well, why is my heart not satisfied? And who came? See, the Lord saw that by the mercy of Krishna or Super Soul in the heart, you get Guru. Who came? Narada Muni. And what is his quality? He chants the holy name with great ecstatic devotion, doesn't he? And he goes all over the universe just with the name, loving the name, man, like many of us do already. He came to help Veda Vyasa out. He says, "Oh well, you're sitting there teaching, just like Lord Caitanya was teaching there. Oh my dear, you didn't put your tilak on." Yeah, and there will be a point when you think, what? Worshiping God is about putting a mark on my head and mark on my arm and a string of things around my neck. Is there anything more? When you get a little curious, and just to go get eye exercise in the temple, up and down, looking at the deity. Whoa, beautiful flowers. Is there anything deeper? Okay? That's when you get guru, when you start to question like that. You start to think, hey, is there something more to this worship thing? See, and then you have to have the living devotee. See? Otherwise, you stay where you are. You don't you start, maybe you're elevated by the devotees to the varnashram level, because if that's what they do and that's what they can teach, and then usually you just die in that mentality, because why? You still haven't come to that point. I want to know more, and you'll take another birth, and because you've developed something like that and you're attracted like that, maybe you get a Brahmin family or something, and you'll like the rules and regulate, born in India or something. Prabhupada said, oh yeah, that's okay, at least you get a human birth, you know. See, but we're here for the more, you know. We're here to teach the real Bhagavatam, not just like, oh yeah, great, you follow me rules and regulations. Oh, that's very nice, you devotees out there and all that. You're gonna get a human birth. I'm sure of it, and that's very good. That's very good. But go hard. Why he's not satisfied? Why aren't you satisfied that they're satisfied? Well, because in that group, I know some people are unsatisfied, but they don't have any. They need to hear the word. They need to hear a person speaking the word. They need to hear your words. They need to see your example, that you're on this path, that you went in the door and you are the shepherd of those who are looking for the deeper way, because otherwise nobody can show them the way. There's no light out there. All you got are all these people waving Vaidhi Bhakti, Varnashram Dharma. There's the light. Go that, and there are people out there. I don't know. Is that, or they go there because they want Krishna? They're by default, but nobody's waving this light, are they? Nobody is out there and say, "Hey, man, there's Raganuga Bhakti. We're teaching it here. You can, from your heart, you start empowered preaching." See, that's as you're getting stronger, you're able to do that. You're able to stand up for the tomatoes, right? You got to stand up. Could you imagine me preaching if these tomatoes that people throw at me all the time, like, oh, discourage me. Oh, I can't do this anymore. Oh, let's keep the camera off. Yeah. All these serpent weapons. Serpent weapons are illusions. Illusions. They're saying that, oh, you're not bona fide. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I. Oh, I see. Weakness of heart. See, that's what you got to overcome. You become strong. You become clear. You're in the truth. The truth set you free, right? You could see this is more truthful than people following the lesser. See, the lesser intelligent. See, if you accept a real devotee who has ecstatic love, as this is really, they got the supreme intelligence. They're really locked on and in there and getting real juice. Okay, and then you with that, what happens? You see who's really less intelligent in the world. See, the Daksha versus Shiva. See, all those demigods, they believed that Daksha had the greater intelligence, the greater truth than Shiva. See, therefore they got the curse. The story is, the curse is just what happens. You become less intelligent. You're less intelligent. You get deeper intelligence by associating with those who have deeper intelligence. That's the secret. Only the Father knows the Son, and the Son knows the Father, and the Son can reveal the Father to whom He chooses. The Father is the real conception of the Lord, the real path that leads you quickly into the same kind of relationship that devotee has. You want to be an ecstatic, people just don't know. It's all about being an ecstatic, intimate devotee of the Lord. That's how you purify the heart. That's how you're able to speak the real Bhagavatam and sit on Vedavyasa's seat. These guys are not qualified unless their heart is purified by ecstatic worship, and that's just a fact. All the Vedas, I stand behind. I have backing. These words, see, these words are not like fiat currency. They have no backing. These words have the backing of the deeper, conclusive, confidential truth. And I was ordered to speak it. I was given the, what do you call, the carte blanche to speak the truth and set people free now. That's not the complete truth. Put a little mark on your head and then you're saved. Well, yeah, maybe if you do that, and after many lifetimes, like Narayana said, he said, "Oh, you don't have three strands of beads on there. You know why?" I was also thinking that's a bit external. What's the big deal about what you have on your neck? Because I was already ecstatically worshiping the Lord for a long time. So it's all leading to this. See? So that's why, like we had a devotee here was getting a little bewildered by that, was wanted to reject these books, saying they're the true Vaidhi because they come across these things. We'll have to straighten that out. You notice? That's why even he needed help. He thought he knew. Oh yeah, and look what it did. He was distant from the association devotees. He wasn't coming here. Oh yeah, I know more now because Gohar, he doesn't see that that's Vaidhi. See, and I have the higher conclusion. I can stay. See, that's a bewilderment. I have to prove to these guys I know what I'm talking about. It's not easy to be deep into this stuff like this. You have to worship for a long time in ecstasy to put it all together. Otherwise, you're bewildered by thinking you know. See? So that's how it works. Yeah. Go ahead there, Reverend Rita.
Okay. I can also understand from this oversight that your rhythmical practices have been rendered useless. Go home and perform your
See,
brain.
this is the key. Your Brahminical practices have been rendered useless. See, that's the thing. If your goal is to be a Brahmin, you need to follow these things. And they're very hard, right? They're very difficult to become a Brahmin. If you're in a mode of passion, you want to become a Brahmin. You got to do practice. Just like a weightlifter. You want to get muscles, you got to go to the gym, right? Regularly practice. You want to be a meditator and overcome your mind, good luck. You got to meditate every day. See, you want to be a Brahmin, you got to do Brahminical practices. Is that the teaching here? Do I teach you that I say that, hey, you want to become Brahmins? Here, let me give you let's put that tilak on every day, man. Let's do all these things. Let's follow this or this. You got to do the practice. Hard work, especially in your mode of passion. You got to control your energies, be very strict in everything. And and you got to suppress a lot because, man, you just want to be free, right? Inside, you want to be free. You want to do this, but then no, it's a no thing. No, 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 no. Especially, so people trying to make Brahmins in Kali Yuga, good luck, man. That's why a lot of devotees get frustrated. They just, it's just really, it's like, God, you get a little cuckoo. Is there any other way? Well, good. I'm glad you asked the question. Yeah, there's the way. Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's the only, I'm just telling you the verse right now. It's the only method is Lord Chaitanya's mercy for one desiring to advance in spiritual life. Really advance. I mean, quickly advance. See, because you'll never advance in spiritual life until your spirit is awakened. Otherwise, you don't know what it is. You think something else in this universe is spirit. You think some new age bullshit is spirit. You think some, what do you call, what is that? Buddhist principle is spirit. They ain't spirit yet. Love of God is spirit. That Ananda is spirit. Conclusive truth is spirit spoken by a real devotee who has deep Ananda is spirit, man. What did Jesus say? My words are spirit. Okay? That's your guru. You don't got a guru like that, you ain't got no spirit, man. You got no awakening. Proven is, look at the disciples. Look at the disciples in the Raj. Couldn't even find one that had the spirit. But look at the devotees here.
The Holy
See, I
Spirit.
only mention you guys because I got to preach Bhagavatam, highest truth distinguished from illusion. Highest truth is spirit, and the spirit is here because you guys are ecstatic. Your spirit is ecstatic, man. That's God, man. That's Radha's love, man. You got his consort. You become his consort by getting the mercy of a consort who's consorting with that transcendental rascal of Vrindavan. See, words are spirit if they're conclusive understanding of the absolute truth. See the Father, the Son can reveal the true nature of the Father because their words are conclusive um, words that manifest the Spirit in ecstasy and in truth. See, worship. Jesus said to the woman at the well, "My Lord is looking for worship in spirit." See that Ananda spirit. What other spirit do you worship in? Some bland thing? No, it's got a spirit. Ecstasy is spirit. Holy Spirit is spirit. See, Holy Spirit. See, there are three aspects. It's eternal, that spirit. It's not just any spirit. You want spirits in the world, go drink some alcohol. They even call them spirits, don't you? You get all these little demons inside you. See, you got the spirit there. See, spirit. But there's this intoxicating spirit of the Holy Spirit, man. That's the one. That's to be interested. See, we got that. We preach that. We demonstrate that. We glorify that. See, thy will be done. I was asking the Lord if he can teach me how to pray because I have a hard time praying. I just don't know what to pray for. So the Lord said, "Oh, here, this it's just what Jesus gave. Thy will be done on earth as it is in Vrindavan." Is better, more clear prayer. Not heaven. What is heaven? Is in the universe here. Still in case we want what's going on outside this material universe, right? Thy will be done. That's in at least Vaikuntha. But we go further. We go to more than iota. We go to Thy will be done on earth as it is in Vrindavan. And we got people doing that too, bringing that spirit down here. See? So I thought, oh, what a great prayer. Okay, I pray for that, Lord. That means you got to come here, man, and bring that will to the world because that's how we're doing it. Sadhu Sangha is how to bring that in, man. This is how people say, well, what are you going to do to change everything in this world? Right? What are you going to do? So some people are fighting the right is fighting the left, right? They're trying to overcome the evil with good, right? See? So we want to overcome the good and evil because it's all part of the same thing. You know how they say in politics that the right and the left are two wings on the same bird? If you go to the deeper understanding of that, it's really true. The good and evil are two wings of the same bird. That's why our preaching is uncommon. Our demonstration is uncommon. You cannot be in the dualities of good, bad, in this world to manifest this spirit. See, this is conclusive truth. This is the absolute truth. That's why they call it absolute. Good and evil comes and goes. Okay? This doesn't. This comes and stays with us. And when we go, it goes. That's why Jesus said, while I'm in this world, I'm the life of this world. People here, many of you can say the same thing. While you are here, you are the life of the world. Real life is this ecstatic spirit. Real life is the words you speak that come from the revelations of that spirit. See, you become Bhagavad Gita 10:10 personified. Ooh, Feeling much better now. I was really pissed off, man. Really angry, man. River knows what I'm talking about. You don't want to see me angry. Well, you see it a lot, actually. You don't want me to get angry at you.
Maharaj, I just noticed this thing, like when you're triggered,
Yeah.
it's like the Hulk grows out of you. It's like you become
Mm.
the Hulk. You react to the trigger. Ah, like that. And then you come back to listen to you, it kind of just goes back to ah!
Did you see the She-Hulk one? The
I
She-Hulk TV
haven't seen
series?
that, but you get
Oh
to
yeah,
watch
yeah,
all the
that's
you get
exactly.
to watch all the movies,
Oh
Maharaj.
yeah. I fast forward a lot. Believe me, I fast forward. I don't. I can't waste my time on that. But there's good stuff like that. Like you just said, the She-Hulk is in there, and she does that. She goes, and you know what's interesting? People freak out. What she got thrown in jail for that. She just all she did was get really angry, and everybody got really afraid, and they threw her in jail. You know, 'cause she.
This is this is gonna happen. This happens, yeah, and it's part of our purification. But we need the shelter for it to happen.
Yeah.
We need to have the shelter for it to happen. So if it, we. I read that chapter from the Canto 11. You told us yesterday to read Canto 11, and the one that got me was Lord Krishna was planning to leave, but he couldn't leave the Yadus behind because pastime. He said if he left, they would go so crazy because they wouldn't be together. They'd go so crazy that they would destroy the earth, and nobody would be able to believe them because they're. This is what I read in. So it's like a pastime marriage. I'm saying if we don't have Krishna, we don't have the shelter.
Yeah.
We don't have our relationship. We don't have that intimate relationship. It makes people go crazy,
Yeah.
really, really crazy, Maharaj.
Well, see, that's the thing. See, they have the shelter of the Maya. That's the thing. So Maya is crazy. See, Maya is just, it's everything is like twisted. See, so they have the shelter of the twisted Krishna in the, see, because it's the Maya. He's the
Yeah.
Maya. He's the twistedness. So, and they don't know that. See, but you got to come out as there's a certain point. If you can hear the word and you follow the word, you follow uh, and the word comes from the devotees who have taken shelter. The clear picture, the clear picture is the Lord. He's perfect. He's perfect clarity. These are the scriptures. I mean, of course, you'll run into some anomalies and stuff in the scriptures. There's some interpolations or some this or that. But actually, when you are really deeply connected with the transcendental Lord, He helps you from within. To see. That's
Oh
why you see
gosh.
I correct a few things and all this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're lost in His illusions. So many out there, you can't get out of it. You have to be saved, literally. Otherwise, and even though people say, "Yeah, I'm saved by Prabhupada and everything," uh, but they don't manifest being saved yet fully. They're just on the level of Vaidhi. They need Shiksha Guru. I mean, even our books teach you about Shiksha Guru. But because they speculate, they're still lost in their speculations, so they cannot be helped very well. They're getting something because they have belief in the Bible or Prabhupada's books. But really, you come to the ultimate help when this process is finished, like by getting cleared out and cleaned out by association of Shiksha Guru for the Vaishnavas now, to the point you're ecstatically worshiping the Lord. Then you've got it. See, now you've got it's like when you fly a plane, you need a co-pilot. You notice they don't fly unless you got a small plane or something. But a plane like this, you need a co-pilot, and that's the Lord Himself. So do you get this kind of training from a bona fide guru? And once you get ecstatic, you're pretty cleaned out like this, then the Lord helps you. You look at the scriptures and you see the deeper revelations of it. The codes are broken. Krishnadas Kaviraj said, I wrote these books, these verses in codes. They're very short verses in Gita. He says, the non devotees will not understand them and they'll go away. But I must write this book for the devotees. The devotees look at that. I've seen this from the first time. The first time I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, I thought, wow, man, I understand this. I can relate to this. See? Because, see, this bringing it in from another life. But most people don't have that. They need to be purified to come to that point. So in another life, I obviously had the mercy of a Vaishnava to do this. Whether I followed the rules and regulations, do it doesn't matter. If I would be just a nobody, nothing, and I never followed anything, but I came to a Vaishnava and I just listened to them, I would get purified by their word. Come to the point of ecstatic devotion, and then I could look at the scriptures and see what I saw in this life. I did that from the very first day in the Bible. I knew immediately that Jesus was the Son of God. I just read a few things, boom, I knew it. I absolutely knew it, and boom, I was in the kingdom of God on that revelation, that level that He gave, just by His association. And then I got Prabhupada's books, and boom, see, it's always, you see, I took the shiksha just from the book. I was able to do it probably because of a past life, and boom, it was there. I said, oh, wow, the personal aspect. God, oh, I love this. It's beautiful, this sweetness, this chanting and ecstasy. Oh, I loved it immediately. See, but most people don't have that. That's why they're infatuated with the rule. I was never infatuated with rules. I thought, what is this, man? Just give me the name, man. Just give me Prabhupada's books. Let me chant these verses. And my shelter was there from the very beginning. It was there from the Bible, even. See, the revelation, as soon as I picked up the Bible, the revelations were flowing through the deeper understanding of the Bible, biblical principles and everything. I was astounded myself. I said, wow, man, just by contact with this book, this glorification of the truth. See? But that's why they need this in this life. If you don't have like that, if you don't come into Prabhupada's books and ecstatic devotion doesn't just awaken, or you meet a devotee and ecstatic devotion doesn't just awaken, then you need help. Even if it does awaken, you need some help. You need to take some time to, you gotta mature in that, right? Just gradually, just overcome all obstacles just by that association.
Yes,
Yeah. Go ahead there,
absolutely.
Rick. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Go home and perform your brimmical duties again. And then with tilak upon your forehead, you return to school. In this way, the Lord taught all his students to maintain the proper standards of brimmical and religious practice. The Lord did not modify his
See,
impetus.
Brahminical and religious practice. So, is that the real religious practice of this age? No.
No.
Lord Chaitanya brought in really the real religious practice. That was just a little, he was just having fun and doing teaching, and he knew people would gravitate to that and say, you see, and get them to follow in that level. Okay? Hey, the real religious practice is to get the mercy of a Vaishnava. Now, in this Kali Yuga, if you really want to go fast, if you want to make it to the kingdom, just take the mercy of Lord Chaitanya coming through the real disciplic line, and very quickly you will attain. All the obstacles will be removed, and you'll attain
Yeah.
attraction, Bhaktilata Bij, the attraction to worship Krishna in spirit, the spirit of bhakti, devotion, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call that, spirit. It's pure, see, and it's purifying. See? You don't worship with motive. It purifies even motives. Even you may be worshiping and motives will start coming out and you'll be looking at them and eventually you realize, oh, let me just worship with a pure spirit and get these motives, these things out of all these these thought forms, and you just worship purely. You see, they get in the way, all these material, subtle motives and stuff to do, whatever that is. That spirit is so pure that the Lord wants to give it before we're qualified. We're not qualified for this. This is the mercy of Lord Caitanya. This is the mercy that comes from somebody who's received the mercy of Lord Caitanya. To worship like this, to become quickly qualified for this kind of worship. For that spirit, the Christ spirit, the Krishna spirit, to be born in the beasts. See, in the barn. See, this is like a barn. This house is full of beasts, bestial things. See, and it's the Christ is born amongst there. See, it's only because somebody gave it room. You see, if you look at that story, that is so esoteric and it's so absolutely true. That's why people, even though they worship that story, even though they don't even know it, what I'm just telling everybody, nobody knows. Nobody's ever revealed this that I've seen. The Lord was born in a barn, just because that person was a simple person out there in like a Vrindavan like place, and he invited the family in there. The mother and father. That's like inviting a real devotee into your house. Oh yeah, yeah, come. Oh yeah, here I have some room in the barn. See, come into my house. Have some room in the barn. See, that's how the Lord works. You're that barn, my friends. Whoever comes to and allows a devotee who is the father and mother, because there's going to be a child in your barn being born. See, your barn is your body, man. Okay? And if you allow the devotee, behold, I stand at the door and knock. Didn't Jesus say that? Well, that's the bona fide guru. You notice they go door to door. We go on the computer, door to door. Behold, the devotee stands at your door, your barn, man, because there's still beasts in there, man. You're just looking for a place, for this transcendental birth amongst the beasts. See, nobody in the cities allowed him. Oh no, I'm sorry. There's no room in the inn. No room in this inn. No room. In other words, there's no room for the word of the devotee. See, you're born not of flesh and blood, but born of the word of the devotee. See, that's why you don't have to some physical story going in physically, and there's some physical cows in there and sheeps and all this stuff. No, it's the word, man, going in the barn of your body, man, going into the ears. Are you allowing it in? Because inside will be the Christ being born amongst those beasts. We do exactly like that verse, even in the Bible. That happens there. Everybody knows you're not qualified, and the Lord is awakened in you because you welcome the spiritual master who is that couple. They show the couple. That's the guru, is that because they're divinely inspired by the father and the mother, or the husband and the wife. See, they carry that, and they carry that word to cause that conception, that immaculate conception in you. Be born. That's the mercy of Lord Caitanya. That's the mercy of the Christ. Okay? That comes from a person. Man. You meet that person. Otherwise, you won't have that. You'll just be looking at that pastime with Lord Caitanya. Oh, you see, this is what we're supposed to do. You stay like a monkey. External. You can't. You don't have a brain much. You can't do. Okay? You don't get any real intelligence. You can't understand what I'm saying here. What's going on saying? No, 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 we know the way. Put the tilak on. Okay? Monkey intelligence, not very smart, right? Okay? Go ahead there, River.
Okay. Thank you. The Lord did not modify his impetus spirit. What does that mean, Maharaj? Impetus spirit. Nor did he spare anyone his criticism. Whoever was negligent. Whoever was negligent was eligible for the Lord's strict correction. Nimai's character was always exemplary. He never made jokes. He never made jokes or laughed in the company of women. In fact,
See, that's what they teach. That's why a lot of people, they hear in America, they just and they see, the Vaishnavas. They put the women on the right and the left, or in the back, and the men in the front, and they think, what the hell is going on here? It's so external. I mean, it's like God, man, But that's what they do, because they want to, because men and women are 9 times more lusty, and the poor men, they may be contaminated by the 9 times, they keep preach, they're preaching more or less like that, man, and that's so external. See, but where is it all going? This is why the Lord in this Kali Yuga, even Jesus, he said, "Come on, man, let's bring people up to the where you're purified." Like when your heart, like even Bhakti Siddhanta was preaching. He would never even be in the room with his sister or mother alone. That kind of virtue signaling, and that's preaching that level. It's kind of like Lord Caitanya preaching like that. So he did, just like Lord, he preached like that, and he preached it, and people look at that and they think, see, the beginners, the real beginners, they, oh yeah, this is what they do. I'll never be in a woman because they look at a woman, you know, like Ajamil. Look at him. He just seen a guy kissing a woman and he went out and he got married that lady. He says, I have to have her now. And he was a Brahmin, not a good Brahmin. See, it's not strong enough, is it? But the Lord gives strength, man. The Lord, this bhakti is strong. See, and it makes you stronger than a Brahmin. It makes you more intelligent than a Brahmin. Look at it. Look at Gohari Das. What did he study? You bring any Brahmin here, they'll speak Brahmin level to you, in the mode of goodness. Oh, and Gohari is speaking all this lofty, deep, esoteric philosophy, breaking all the codes of the verse. How does he do that without being a Brahmin? It's called the mercy of Lord Caitanya, and that's what we're here to give. You know, yeah, I don't need, see, Acharya Dave, thank you for your service, by the way, Acharya Dave. Acharya Dave needs a big degree to preach to intelligent people. See? He needs a PhD. He has to spend 10 years in college being brainwashed and whatever else bullshit they do there. How anybody could do that, I don't know. You have to, that's a miracle in itself. So he can preach to intelligent people. See? But a real devotee can preach to the most intelligent person. He can preach to the demigods. The only people that won't hear his words are what? Those covered too much by the false ego, who think they know everything about the truth. Therefore, there's no room for the word of a devotee. See, that's why you see the guy in the countryside when the husband and wife come and say, our baby wants to be born. Can you give us? Is there any room in your house? Oh yeah, come on in. See, bring your word in. Yes, yes, yes. There's room here. Yeah, but it's just a barn. There's a lot of beasts. I'm not really qualified to really house such as. Oh, that's okay. Just because you're willing to hear from me. It's like when Jesus went to Matthew. Matthew's sitting there with all these people, women right next to him, right next to Jesus, and they're all, just having a party, drinking, wine, and the orgy going on, everything. If you watch that, Jesus of Nazareth, you can see it on YouTube, that scene there. And Peter says, what are you doing going into a sinner's house? See how it works? Just like that story. What are you doing going in a sinner's house? Oh, what did Jesus say? Oh, I'll enter into anybody's house who will listen to me, who will invite me. You notice that how easy it works here? See, people who invite this word of an empowered devotee, what happens? They change. The Christ, the Krishna, the love of God is born in them so easily. And these other people, they're following the rules and regulations like the Pharisees and Brahmins and sannyasis, and they think they're really great, man. They got all their followers. What else do we need? We don't need anything. We got following, we got money, we got buildings. We got pomp, we got people worshiping us. We're okay, man. But are they really okay? This makes you okay. Inviting. See, so those who have room in an inn, regardless, that's why people can come as they are. Well, can I come? I eat meat. Yeah, no problem. Are you willing to listen? Oh, yeah, I want to hear. Can I come? I didn't follow all the rules. Or do I need to go in a hard, strict course to do that? No, no, you can come here and the Christ will be born in you. The Krishna will arise in your heart and you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. You will know God like we know God, because that's the power we've been given. The mercy of Lord Caitanya is being distributed here, far and wide. And there's no exaggeration. It's absolutely true. It's absolutely happening here, and everybody can see it. See? We're not hiding in plain sight. See? Maya hides in plain sight. See? She's bewildering people so they can't see what's going on here. But that's how we overcome it. Speaking the truth, showing the truth firmly. Let them throw their serpent weapons of envies and jealousies, energies like that. We'll throw them flowers of ecstatic devotion and conclusive understanding. Go ahead. Hey, read what Amy says.
Amy's been saying it loads. Stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I think this is so.
Read this one. I think that strictly following.
Okay. I think that strictly following the rules and regulation creates pride in the ego. 9 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10. And you can feel it right away with Vidus who are real Ronnie regulations. I don't know that's
Right, I like that.
regulations type, puffed up from pride and coming across as know-it-alls, lacking necessary, lacking necessarily humility. Sometimes devotees act like the exact opposite of humble servants. They act more like they think they are superior. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's see, when you can't taste the transcendental Ras and you get a position, you got the Ras of pride, competition, and that's the subtle false ego comes in there and stops you from advancing. See, so that's why you see these qualities. Because you don't have the mercy, therefore you got to taste some material ras. Pride is a taste of material ras. Many devotees think pride is the bhakti lata bish. They believe that. Why? Because their gurus are they're pushing that out in their energy, and people they don't know, have this experience that we have. Therefore, they think, oh, the more proud you are, the more advanced you are. See, and it gets really weird because that pride is often hidden. That's what they call wolf in sheep's clothing. The pride is there, but they pretend, oh, Prabhu, 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 as they're relishing this pride, being worshipped, and oh, Prabhu, I'm not, Prabhu, and the inside they're feeling great happiness, but it's not real happiness. I mean, it's mundane, material happiness. That's why it causes distress. That someday they will be humiliated, which happens. You know, first pride becomes. What do they say? Pride comes before the fall. See, so pride first, and then you fall. Then you have the fall. Yeah, and that's what happens. You fall down, and that's good. You fall down. See, you start to. It may. Some devotees, even when there's a little pride there, then you feel humiliated. But that's good because you become humbled by that. That's why without the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, you really can't preach the real Sankirtan movement. You have to be empowered. And that's why it takes some time. You need to get purified and hear. And see, this is a beautiful place to do that. It works, man. It really works. And isn't it amazing? A lot of devotees I have not even met, and they're advancing spiritually just by camera. This shows even God, much less others, that this is very powerful what we're doing. People are making spiritual advancement. They show it in the symptoms, they show it in their realizations, they show it in their understanding, and they show it in their ecstasy. The ones who come on. See, that's demonstration. See, that's thy will be done on earth as it is in Vrindavan and Mayapur, in the spiritual world, and beyond this material world. See, you guys are demonstrating that will of God. The will of Lord Chaitanya is this way of worship is here. It is his real will. Not just we just promote religion and Vaidhi stuff and rules. That's external. The Lord wanted more for that. Jesus wanted more for that, right, in this world. What a great prayer Jesus came up with. Thy will be done. When they asked him, Jesus, teach us how to pray. What a perfect prayer. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, they say, but heaven means paradise, and paradise means Vrindavan, Garden of Eden, where you're there eternally. Perfect prayer. See, and this is how the simplicity of doing it is to worship the Lord like they do there. Isn't it? See, that's the will. The Lord wants that here. See, on earth. Because if Radha and Krishna did not come to this planet, it would be useless. That's what the universe would be useless if Radha and Krishna didn't come to this planet. The will of God from outside this universe in the spiritual realm did not come to this planet, it would be useless. See? Not just some bodies coming here. No, some perfection of consciousness, perfect consciousness, the love of God, the love of the true Lord, the transcendental Lord that transcends everything. He's transcendental. See, transcends material forms into the spiritual form. Go ahead, read some more. That's from these things here, if there's anything to read. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
And any stuff, read anything.
Yeah. Okay. Amy is saying, and the greatest part is not that only did you understand immediately and have the Lord with you, but you were given this amazing gift to be able to share it with others in such a powerful and deep way that you also have the Lord awoken inside them just by hearing and associating with you.
That's how
Wow.
it always works like that. That's why these people preaching some other philosophy, it's speculations and keeps people down because they're not experienced devotees. Everybody, whether you're a living guru that hasn't been awakened, so you're still like a mode of goodness guy or something, or even a liberation person, you know, or you're a Rhythmic who think all you need is the Bible or the book. You need to listen to those who actualize this on this planet, where you see the will of God from the spiritual dimension actually here on this planet through a person that has received the mercy. In our line, it's Lord Caitanya. Or even as a Christian, you see a Christian who brings the Christ into this world. You see the symptoms of that. They have extraordinary revelation and extraordinary love for God. And for people too. They're able to help people in a very deep way. And the deepest way is to help them quickly get this love of God too, so that they can be like you. Okay? That they can also love God and taste this happiness and be witnesses for the world. Look at everybody going down all these different paths that don't lead here, or at least very quickly. Like these people saying, well, we can follow any path because all paths lead to God. But how long does it take? This one takes like this. This is the essence of all of that all realized souls teach this path, whether it's from the Bhagavatam or from the Bible. If you're going to get this kind of experience of God arising in your heart, so that you know the truth, the ultimate eternal truth. We need this relationship, man. Otherwise, we've got a relationship with Maya, and all it does is make us bewildered and weak, stupid, fearful, angry, hateful, lusty for material things, whether it's money, material opulences, or women or men. Too much so. So we need this, and this is our contribution for anybody, starting with the Vaishnavas. We give them a chance. You studied Prabhupada's books, you followed that path. We bring it to you. Okay, this is where it's all going. Can anybody here out there? Is anybody coming to Krishna for this, and you're just stuck there because that's the only option available? Look at all the millions of Vaishnavas now, and those millions are all teaching Vaidhi Bhakti. How many are teaching this? Probably only us. And this is the essence of all of it. This is where it's all going. That's why he says the real rasic devotees, the real ones who worship the Lord in intimacy and ecstasy, are one out of millions. The Lord spoke to the multitudes, just like Jesus also. It's always like this. Lord Caitanya spoke to the multitudes. And then there was two that he was honed in on. And he actually said, well, actually, I only mainly came for you two. That was Rupa and Sanatan, or Rupa and Anupam, one of the two. See, why? Because they were ecstatic devotees, and their heart was with the Lord Caitanya and his real preaching. The multitudes just came and listened and went away. See? Rupa and Sanatan stayed, or I forgot if it was Anupam. They're all the same thing. They were all brothers. But those devotees were meant to be close to the Lord, and the Lord engaged them in more closeness. Okay? Same thing here. You see, our preaching goes out to the multitudes, right? Look on Facebook, with millions of devotees here. And we got, 14 people? So that's the circle right now. You see the style of how rare this is. This is gold. This is golden. And by this preaching, just try to make it more accessible. Polish the diamond, to make it shine more brighter. This is Sadhu Sangha. This is the do here. To make it more clear, more bright, that this is the real diamond here. This is what you devotees in ISKCON are looking for. This is the diamond, you Gaudiya Samiti devotees and Gaudiya Math. This is the diamond you people in the world, you Buddhists, you Christians are even looking for. This is the diamond. We're polishing it here every day. Can you see how shiny it is yet? Okay, well, we'll just polish more today. We'll just keep polishing as long as we can polish. This is our contribution for the purification of the planet and the universe, actually, because this is a universal thing going on here. The heavens are shaking, literally. Heaven is shaking. What the demons are doing is shaking the heavens, man. Those who are sensitive can feel it. Okay? But we're not getting shaken up or shaken out. Well, we're being shaken out, like our truth is coming out too. See, demons are coming out. We're seeing, oh, wow, this is demoniac. Can you imagine? After a while, you got to see, wow, that's really draconian. That's really tyrannical. Yeah, look at these people, bumbling boobs, stupid people running the country. See, all that stuff is coming out, and this is coming out too. See, this path is coming out. It's part of making it clear. See, so yeah.
Maharaj, people are so covered. People are
Yeah.
so covered, they don't know that these people are so bumbling. And even the people that do know that these authorities, they have no knowledge, they have no solution to go. This is the solution for all of us, to be shouted here and actually clearly see what they're doing. But yeah, they say you see all these. Krishna shows us exactly what they're doing, and
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
we get that shelter to understand. The curtain opens, the delusion is extinguished more so. We can see what they're doing. They just
Yeah.
need to come here. Solution, solution, solution now, Maharaj.
Yeah, this is the as you could say escape hatch. This is another shelter. See, they have their shelters, but they're flimsy. The good and evil, the good and bad. It's a flimsy. It's not very strong either side. One side sometimes wins, then the other side wins, and so they're and they what do you call it? They prick each other. They
Yeah,
disturb each other. The demons are disturbed by the good,
yeah,
and the good people are disturbed by the demons. It's only like I'm amazed myself just following this path. I'm not disturbed by either.
it's
You know,
amazing.
I don't find it disturbing to be that's all going on out there. But what's going on in here is the shelter. See, there's people see, oh, you mean we can just come and hear about these absolute truths and get shelter? Yeah, I mean, like we have. I mean, it's, the peace is here. See, this is the like the missing link. See, this is the link missing, and this is for everybody. See, whatever side you're on, in good and evil, the Lord doesn't discriminate in that way. He's not looking, are you good or bad? Especially Lord Chaitanya. He's not trying to liberate the saints only. See, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, they were looking at just who's open, like Jesus. Who's open? Who's here? Who can? Is there a room in your barn with all those beasts in you? Is there any room at all? Oh, there's some room in there. Oh, good. Let me come in there. Let's work with that. See, demon or it doesn't matter. Is there any room? Is anybody out there? If Bill Gates comes one day and says, "Wow, I don't know. I heard this on the internet, and I thought, wow, what you're saying, I never heard anything like that." Uh, I know, you know what I'm like. You can see what I really like and all that. Is there any room for me? Oh God, if there's any room in there with all those beasts, no problem, man. If there's room for this word, and looks like there is because you kind of like what I'm saying, no problem, man. They'll get in. He'll get in more fast, even though he's. You don't know how much karma these guys got. It's unbelievable, man. Heavy millions, millions, millions. But all that will be exonerated simply because you accept the word of the devotee. That person, who's a dacoit or dastard and everything, will make more advancement than these gurus who won't listen to this word. See, this word is special here. This word does the transformation. People transcend the illusion by this word. Yes or no? I mean, people are doing it. It's happening here. So I just, that's what's going on. But their words don't have such power. They can't awaken. Narayan Maharaj didn't awaken the love of God in any way. He didn't have the order. He didn't have the ability, obviously. Yeah. My word was awakening love of God even before I got the order from Prabhupada. A person just happened to come and said, I'm reading this Chaitanya Mangal and I have no understanding of it. Can you read it to me? See, there's a little room for in the end, right? And just very shortly, in a day or two, love for God awoke in her. But her guru couldn't produce that love before that. Just like I was looking in the Ram Raj group. Is anybody producing this love of God? And I couldn't find even one. So, in other words, the guru, he couldn't do it, even though there was all this talk about Radhe and Raganuga bhaktis and all that. But I saw just symptoms of following lots more rules than in ISKCON, more difficult austerities. And I didn't see any smiles on their face. Those who are doing it, it's hard work. See, so the empowerment is here. See, and the authorization is here. How do you know? Well, by what's how the Lord is giving the increase in you. I'm speaking, right? Speaking, talking, chanting. And what's the Lord doing? He's causing the increase in your hearts, right? That energy is going into you. This word is going into you and producing fruit, right? See, you're getting this is the transcendental sperm of a devotee. It goes in through the ear. Okay? It goes in through their emanations. See, you basically, they emanate that love towards you and it purifies you. Their word gives you the real conception of the absolute truth, the real path. You get to understand the real path by hearing, and so you overcome speculation because you before thought the path was something else. You thought it was what those Namahatas told you it was, right? And now you find out it's something deeper. See, more clearer. See, gives more happiness. See, that's why that are really serious here, they don't give this up because they say, "Hey man, I can't find anything better out there because this is topmost." That's how it gets you. You find the best. Why would you give it up for the lesser? See, that's what the devotees didn't get enough of with Prabhupada. See, it wasn't. And what happens? He leaves, and all of a sudden the gurus, Vyasasans go up that are no better than their own god brothers, and they kick on most of the god brothers out that wouldn't submit to them. Very political, isn't that very mundane? Isn't it? Isn't that what they do on Facebook and everything? Oh, you don't agree with what we want you to believe in our polluted minds and hearts? Well, you're off there. You're out of here. Well, they did that in ISKCON, man. Same thing. Same bullshit. Not much better, is it? And then everybody's worshiping these persons that are like worshiping Facebook. It's just like worshiping the Facebook consciousness, or the government consciousness. See, and you're governed by these people, and you never reach the point of what do they call sovereignty. See, and freedom. See, but look, you listen to this word, you're being cut free from that. See, you're finding sovereignty in the same Lord that I have. You find freedom in the Lord that I have. That's how it works. Always worked like that. See? This is not. This is no cult. You know what a cult is? I mean, like the material cult. This is the cultivation of real bhakti, but the cult, the material cult, the what do you call the imitation of this? You get a guru and you become entrapped. You're in a trap, man. You're with Putana. You're trapped. You can't get out of that until you're set free by a person that opens the holy book, the real holy book that they are, because inside them is that person who actually wrote the holy book. That's Radha and Krishna. The book of life is in them, and said, "I've been anointed to free the captives by the spirit of Radha and Krishna and the Lord, to free the captives and to preach the word to the poor in spirit." In other words, you hear the word, it goes in, and the birth of the Christ happens very quickly, and you feel Krishna arising in your heart. You're very happy now. Isn't that a Fanny? Isn't that an Amy? Do you see how both of those two? You have choice prayers. You see how River has choice prayers. So beautiful things because they have God in them. So this is how we promote. We promote by example. We promote by the works that God is doing here, that Guru and God is doing here. See, we work together. I could not pull this off alone. Jesus couldn't pull it off alone. He said, "I'm the true vine, my father's a gardener." It's always like that. Even Maharaj Parikshit, the true vine was Shukadev Goswami speaking to him. And he was listening to the true vine. And if that true vine, and it was connected to the trunk, which is the Lord, the Supreme Lord, see, he made the connection, and the Lord goes in and awakens in Maharaj Parikshit and has the revelation of God. Okay? That's the quick way. You want to go the slow way? Go follow Balaram's path or the Rhythmic's path. Go in and just read alone Prabhupada's books and think in your mind your Raganuga and all that stuff. But it's only in your mind. You're no profuse. See, if the Lord is really working, if Gauri is really bona fide, then you should have the experience of ecstatic devotion and progress. At least feel like, wow, I feel relieved listening to him. Wow, I think I have hope. That hope develops into assurance because you start to feel assured. Wow, this is working. I have what the scriptures are describing. I'm also laughing and crying and choking up like liberated souls. It's just a fact now. I've got the mercy of the Lord by being with a real guru. I couldn't get it quite like that in the Namahata. See, or with this guru, or with Jaipataka, or with Radhanath, or with even Narayan Raj, or with the Buddha, or even to this level with Christianity. Yeah. Read some more. Read what Shamaguri wrote. Are you muted?
I thought I pressed it. Sorry, Maharaj. So Shamaguru is saying more rules and regulations I saw over there. So she's talking about the Vaidis, I think. She's saying, yes, dear Guru, they really do. I saw when I was associating with them, did not see any happiness or ecstatic bliss. None, none, none.
Yeah. That was the Narayan Raj group too. I also noticed the same thing. It's kind of cordial. It's like going to one of these dinner parties. Like you see on the movies. You go to a dinner party and everybody's with etiquettes and acting cordial, but inside is not pure. It's not cleaned. Cleansed, you know?
They did the real social gathering.
Yeah, you see everybody here. Your heart comes out into the world. See, this is a safe space for that. Actually,
Yeah.
for your heart to come out. And yeah, and to grow. So the Lord is looking for a place to be born. See, so not only to be born in you. See, it's not usually enough just to be born in you, because then you go to religion, right? Because a lot of people they awaken, they get a book from Prabhupada. Whoa, wow, this is amazing. And they get it, and then they go to ISKCON, who's a Vaidhi level. They have the books. It's religion, and you go, oh wow, I really love these books. I really, oh yeah, oh you feel really, oh well, that just happens in the beginning, but then you're going to see it's going to be really tough. You're going to go through lots of dry spells and all that, and that's all it is because of that association. Here, see, it develops. It just goes on deep because the soil is very rich for this. See, a lot of vitamins in this soil. See, this garden here is about ecstatic devotion and all these subtle principles that only ecstatic devotees know. See, this is chapter 9 of Adi Lila. See, Lord Caitanya was that garden, see, very advanced and matured. And he started a garden in Navadvip. He gave that association, he locked the doors from the Vaidis out there. Okay? They couldn't come in and do these things, cause problems, disturbances. So at first he locked the doors and let's get this strong, the spirit strong. Let's worship amongst ourselves. That's what Lord Krishna did in Vrindavan. He didn't bring Vrindavan right into the cities of Mathura, where Mathura was oppressed by the Vaidis headed by Kamsa. Kamsa was a hypocritically devout. He said he was religious and everything, but inside he was a materialist, kind of like the Pope, kind of like a lot of these mega preachers, kind of like a lot of ISKCON gurus. Come on, man. How many pedophiles came out of that ISKCON guru? That's pretty material, I would say, huh? A lot of government workers are like that, right? We finding out many of the government people are pedophiles. This is just becoming facts now, factual. No more conspiracy theory. It's not and they've already been found out in ISKCONs. Many of these guys, they were your gurus. They were your fearful leaders, hiding, coming out. Yeah,
Marge, when I first read the Gita, when I was going this way, I was like, because, oh my God is actually real. There's all this information here
yeah,
about, and that's when I read the Gita, and boom,
yeah,
that's it for
yeah,
me. Because I thought people are hiding God all the time because he's
yeah,
not in the mainstream anywhere.
yeah.
And really, I
Yeah.
can't believe it. I said, there's all this knowledge of God here.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. I needed, obviously, really, we all need, the depth of knowledge that you share with us, your relationship. We need the shelter. We need the safe space to grow, like you said.
yeah,
That's what they do in material counseling. They make a
yeah,
safe space for the client to be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to
To grow,
let,
to grow.
let go
Yeah,
of things, to grow. It's very slow, cost a lot of
yeah.
money, and it's temporary. But yes, it's great. I couldn't believe it, Manoj. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, like a lot of people, they come to ISKCON and they get Prabhupada's books, and they're attracted, because it's like, wow, this is really, see, this is God in their hearts. But they can only cultivate as far as the Vaidhi thing because of that. So it's all by association you advance, really. See, so if you're naturally attracted and you really kind of love those words and everything, that's not a good place to do it. I mean, I tried it myself. I was naturally attracted. I just love this knowledge. I just love this name. And I went to I lived in ISKCON for 5 years. I didn't know where else to go. There were no offerings of this. And I was unhappy, man. All they do is put me to work. After a while, I just got, I couldn't purify myself. I just go to work in a mall for 12 hours a day. Can you imagine? They sent me out to work 12 hours a day in some other city with no association at all. Just work, work, work. And then we have to call our temple president, and he said, "Yeah, yeah, just do it. Yeah, just go make money." And I just did that. It was a very unhappy time in my life. Can you imagine? That's religion for a lot of people that are looking for more. I was looking for more, but there was no guidance. See, even though I had this in me, there was no place to really cultivate it. I had to get through a lot of things first. Realize, and then Prabhupada said, basically, you got to, if you want this, you got to start it, man. Otherwise, nobody can do this. I was saying I wanted to turn it over. I didn't want to take the responsibility. I thought, oh, me, who am I? Even after the order of Prabhupada, I did it for a while. It was working. It was working pretty good. It was happening really good, actually. And and then I thought, well, and then we met Narayan Raj, and then I kind of got off because everybody's saying, oh, no, you need the big guru. He's the real guru. What are you? Look at you, man. You're not a real guru. He's so exalted and all that. And so I kind of went, I like, wow, maybe I'm wrong. See, I became doubtful. I thought, okay, well, let me give it up, turn over my power there, whatever. And so I did. Eventually, I took even initiation later on. My wife went, and the other disciple went to him, and I thought, well, maybe he's there. So I went under that, but I lost everything I had by that association. Even they're supposed to be Raganuga and spontaneous devotional service, Raganuga, they're preaching. I didn't find it conducive at all for this. I became very bland. I lost my other intelligence that I had from naturally. So I found it was better to be alone than with being with Vaidis or the Narayan Raj group, and I had the same thing with the Radhakund Babajis. I found it better to be alone, more conducive. And then I found Bhaktivinoda Thakur said the same thing. He said, if you advance to the level of devotion, better to do your bhajan alone until you find the Lord sends like minded people. Okay? And I was doing that. I was just wandering around India, chanting in ecstasy and very happy, man, very ecstatic, stayed ecstatic, and then all of a sudden one person came. So the Lord changed the thing, wanted time to preach now. Isn't it great? Time to preach. Look, we got a family now, got nice people, ecstatic devotees. God, man, this is going great. This is fantastic.
It's true, Maharaj. That's what religion just does what everything else does, the governments
Yeah,
do. That people work hard for these companies that 20 years and just shove them away.
yeah,
We've had enough. They want to make more profit. I understand that. There's nothing relishable. I would actually listen if I didn't have you and to come back to this and to be
mm,
shown delusion. If I listen to some people, actually a certain devotee, you'll know him in well, I don't know if he is in the Sangha, but anyway, if I didn't have the experience of listening to you, being in this experience, walking with God, hearing God, being connected to God, I wouldn't have the strength and the shelter of not being disturbed by this devotee's words, because
yeah,
he's
yeah,
quite intense. He's quite intense guy,
yeah,
and if I didn't have that, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
if I
you
didn't have
need the, you
that,
need some. Yeah,
disturbance
yeah,
would come. You did
yeah.
all of that, going around, sorry, Marge, seeing everybody and having all
Yeah,
of these experiences and seeing what's really happening. You've done that for us. You've created the safe space for us
yeah,
to be
yeah,
able to be sheltered and kind of not be so disturbed by others because we know the truth.
yeah,
God is here.
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
that's what
Marge.
I had to do. Is I had to clear all that away. Could you imagine? I had this on all fronts because I was looking for a role model. Somebody like a brother. That I could say really got it. I went to the ecstatic Christians. And I said, "Whoa, they got some ecstasy. That can relate to that." And also, they couldn't quite get it. Do it either. Because so this is how rare it is. And so somehow or other, because of Prabhupada's books and the Goswami books, it just I really got and I was just actually there was a period of time about 2 or 3 years um, that I just was just alone, just worshiping, just soaking it up, man, ecstatic, and it just got very more and more clear, and then and still there was still it's a process, isn't it? You see it for yourself. It's a process, even here it's a process. But this makes it a lot easier, man, because you got people who can relate. Maybe not everybody, but certain ones. It helps a lot to get through these things.
Yes, Marge, yeah.
Yeah.
We have a safe foundation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want me to read more?
Let's see. Let me see. Let me see here. Oh boy, there's so many comments. See, that's the way it is when you're around a nourishing place. You get understanding, realizations, and something to share.
It's
This is really
flowing.
great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, yeah, I'll read some more, Leela.
Okay.
Some.
Where was it? I just remind we're reading Adi Kunda from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, chapter 50. Where was it? In fact, he kept his distance. He kept his distance from women and avoided meeting them. Nimai especially liked to tease and find fault with the residents of Srihata, imitating their peculiar pronunciations. The infuriated students of Srihata would retort, "Oh Lord, and which land do you hail from? Tell us where your father and mother and their forefathers come from. Which one of them was not born in Srihata? You yourself are a descendant of Srihata. So why do you make such fun of fun of us?" The more they tried to chastise the Lord, the more fun he had imitating their pronunciation and making jokes about their expense. It required little provocation to infuriate them further. And occasionally one of them would chastise the Lord with, I don't know this word, pulse in mus, intentions. Do you know that word? Push in. Okay.
Push it, shove. Push and shove.
No, it's PUSILLANIMOUS. It's one
I don't,
word.
I don't know.
Intentions, anyway. The chase was usually futile, for the Lord could not be caught easily. And ultimately, the angry fellow would simply stomp the ground in frustration, like a child. Like a child. Okay. Okay. Angry fellow would simply stomp the ground in frustration and shout invectives. Shout. Don't know that word. Invectives. Can somebody look up that word? If you have this book, it's on 119, halfway down, 180, page 180. Occasionally, someone managed to capture Nimai and drag him to the local magistrate to register a complaint. His friends would arrive in time to pacify the angry party and reach some mutual understanding. The Lord would also search out the house of a person from East Bengal. He would break in, destroy the food store, and run away in mock fear. In this way, he created havoc in Lavaduri, but he never had any incident that involved women. Okay, he never even looked at women. In this incarnation, the Supreme Lord did not even hear the word, the word woman. Therefore, those realized souls who are fixed in the scriptural conclusions never glorify Lord Caitanya as Gauranga Nagra, the Lord in the mood of a parama, the Lord in the mood of a parama. Although every kind of eulogy is applicable to the Lord, knowledgeable pure devotees offer glorification in accordance with the nature that the Lord manifests in a particular incarnation. In Navadvip, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was Nimai Pandit, the scholar. The Lord of Vaikuntha planets enjoyed his transcendental activities as a teacher in the house of Sri Mukunda Sanjay. All his students sat around him, and he taught them with great pleasure. Sometimes he pretended to have a headache and ordered medicine oil massaged onto his head. Then he would continue his discussion submerged again in his intimate spirituality. From early morning until afternoon, he taught his students and then went to the Ganga for his bath. Then again from early evening till late evening, he continued his discussion and teaching. And his students studied under Nimai for a year. He felt his, he left his tutelage. Sorry, Maharaj, I'm so sorry. As a fully fledged scholar, well versed in the scriptural conclusions. Okay. From early morning until afternoon, he taught his students and then went to the Ganga for his bath. Then again from early evening to late evening, he continued his discussions and teaching. If any student studied under Nimai for a year, he left his I don't know, Maharaj, as a fully fledged scholar, so they're scholars, they left them. Well versed in the scriptural, I don't know. Okay, I'm going to carry on reading. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's well versed because that's how you become a. If you learn under a real devotee, this is an amazing thing. Your intelligence becomes better than the greatest scholars. The intelligence of devotees here become better than these gurus. They're honest, just frank and honest. It's really true. You could even prove it. You can get one of the devotees here that's been here for a while, and you could converse with these biggest gurus here, and your intelligence will be better. But none of them will do it because they either think, oh, you're not really qualified and all that stuff. But that's how it was. When you have a real devotee who has real bhakti, and you listen to them, you get a devotional intelligence that they don't have by study. Unless they have the mercy of a devotee to actually worship the Lord in ecstatic devotion, then your intelligence will be better. Isn't that amazing? I mean, this is the best way to become a scholar, is to get the mercy of Lord Caitanya in this line, because you'll know the essence that they don't know. I guarantee you, a lot of these devotees are not studying Chaitanya Charitamrita Lila. They cannot understand it because you got to get the special mercy. You got to have a teacher to do that. Or they may study superficially, like look at me, see the pride. Look at me, I'm teaching Chaitanya Charitamrita. See the pride of that, but that's not really it. You got to relish. See, you come to the point of relish, and then you get revelation and realization, and then you teach people the deeper side of the scriptures that they can't do. All they can do is kind of like a parrot, and their realizations will be more or less mundane, kind of all about Vaidhi, all about the regulations and fastings and all. You can go listen to them, and you'll see they cannot produce deep insight into the scriptures. But you come here, people come here very quickly. You become a deep, deep understanding. That's why you guys can give classes that actually raise people to the spirit, because your words become spirit because you're spiritualized. See, you're listening in words of spirit. Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Maharaj. While the Lord was absorbed in his activities, Sachimata constantly thought of the Lord's remarriage. She searched all of Navadvip for a daughter-in-law suitable for Nimai. Sri Sanatan Mishra was a pious and charitable Brahmin, a benevolent and pure-hearted devotee of Lord Vishnu. He lived in Navadvip and engaged himself in serving guests and assisting less fortunate people. Born of a noble family, he was truthful and self-controlled. As a scholar, he had earned the title Raj Pandit. And as a wealthy gentleman in Navadvip, he personally maintained merely needy people. Sanatan Mishra's daughter was like Sri Lakshmi Devi in beauty and character. As soon as Sachimata saw her, she was convinced that this girl was the best choice for her son's wife. From early childhood, the young girl bathed regularly in the Ganga 2 or 3 times a day. She was dedicated and obedient to her parents, and she had no interest other than devotion to Lord Krishna. Every day, when she met Sachimata at the bathing ghat by the Ganga, she humbly offered her respect. Sachimata reciprocated and blessed her, saying, "May Krishna bless you. Excuse me. May Krishna bless you with a suitable husband." However, as Sachimata bathed, she thought, "This girl should marry my son." Sri Sanatan Mishra and all his near relatives were equally eager to have the Lord as a son-in-law. One day, Sachimata sent for, is it Kashnita Pandit, and told him, "My dear sir, I have a proposition. Go tell Raj Pandit that if he so desires, he may offer his daughter's hand in marriage to my son." Kasinath Pandit proceeded immediately to Sri Sanatan Mishra's house, repeating the Lord's name in silent joy. When the Raj Pandit saw Kasinath Pandit at the door, he immediately offered him a seat with due respect. "What brings you here, my dear sir?" asked Sri Mishra. "I have come with a proposal, and if you so desire, I will reveal it to you," replied Kathinath Pandit. "You should offer your daughter Vishnupriya in marriage to Vishwambar Pandit. I think it is a perfect match. He is a divine personality suitable in all respects for your daughter. Your daughter, who is chastely personified, will be the best for him." Vishnupriya Nimai Pandit reminded me of the divine couple, Krishna and Rukmini. So perfectly suited are they for each other. Raj Pandit disclosed the news to his wife and near relatives and waited for their advice and comments. Greatly they agreed. Sorry, Maharaj. What is the need for further debate? This is a perfect proposition. Quickly make all the necessary arrangements. The Raj Pandit happily replied to Kathinath Pandit, "I have decided to marry my daughter to Vishwambar Pandit, so proceed with all the arrangements. If the Supreme Lord so desires, my family and ancestors will be greatly blessed by this marriage of my daughter. Kindly go to their house and inform them of everything. I am fully in favor of this marriage." Sri Kasinath Pandit was extremely satisfied with the outcome of his mission, and he promptly told Sachimata everything that had transpired. Sachimata was relieved that everything had gone smoothly. Without wasting further time, she began the preparations. Nimai students were jubilant with the news of his marriage when the news of his marriage reached them. A rich gentleman named Buddhimanta Khan immediately offered, "I shall bear the cost of the entire marriage." However, Makunda Sanjaya objected, "My dear brother and friend, if you take all the responsibilities, then what am I supposed to do?" Listen, my dear friend, said Buddhimanta Khan. "I will not allow this marriage to become another poor Brahman's wedding. I will make such arrangements for Nimai Pandit's wedding that everyone will think a great prince is getting married." Is getting okay. Adivasa, an important ceremony before the day of the marriage, was held as an auspicious time amidst great joy and festivity. The area set aside for the actual marriage ceremony was decorated with colorful hangings around the sides and across the tops, water pots with intricate design, ghee lamps, grain, yogurt, and strings of young mango leaves were all around. Different auspicious ingredients required for such an occasion were placed on the floor, which had been beautifully designed with colored rice paste. The the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, the Brahmanas, and all the gentlemen of Navadvip attended the auspicious occasion. Invitations had been sent to all of them, requesting them to attend the feast in the evening of the day of the Adivasa. By early afternoon, the musicians had already arrived and began to play. Loud and melodious sounds of madanga and other drums, shani, and cymbals were carried in all directions. The priests began to chant the Vedic mantras, and the ladies ululated, adding to the festive mood. The crest jewel of the Brahmana's race, Nimai Pandit, seated himself in the midst of the Vedic chanters. The priests and the Brahmanas around him felt a surge of joy in his presence. Difficult objects required to formally receive, different objects required to formally receive the guests were brought to Nimai Pandit. He garlanded the respectable gentlemen with flowers and applied sandalwood paste upon their foreheads, offering each of them a betel nut and leaf according to the custom of the time. The Brahmin population in Navadvip was large in those days, so countless gentlemen came and went with no keeping track. Some amongst them were very greedy and returned repeatedly, mixed with the crowd and pretending they had just arrived in order to receive another gift. Having received invitations, people came from distant localities and were unknown to each other. But despite such anonymity, there was strong festive spirit. The Lord was in a joyful mood, and he played the perfect host. Give all the flower garlands, sandalwood paste, and other gifts to the guests at least 3 times, ordered Nimai. Do not think about the cost. Just give freely to everyone. The greedy Brahmanas who were over endeavoring to take the free gifts several times were suddenly checked and felt ashamed. Because of the Lord's generosity. The Brahmins are dear to the Lord, and he wants to protect their religiosity. Some men were committing offenses by deceitfully collecting extra gifts. Therefore, he gave the instruction to give the gifts 3 times to any person. After receiving the gifts 3 times, no one wanted any more. They were satisfied. No one amongst the milling guests knew that the flower garlands, sandalwood paste, and betel leaf they had received were actually expansions of Lord Ananta Sage, serving his master, the personality of Godhead, Nimai Pandit.
Yeah, this is really, metaphorically speaking, also, this is basically showing in the form of stories our relationship with the Lord. See, the Lord is actually the supreme male, the supreme absolute truth. See, Nimai Pandit, or Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, represents the absolute truth as it is. I mean, that is the conclusive understanding of reality of the highest level. Okay? That's Lord Chaitanya. Yeah? The conclusive. See, and so if you look at this metaphorically, you could see that This is the marriage. You think this is not a mundane marriage. This is a spiritual marriage. You see, the Lord's body is spiritual, and his devotee's body is spiritual. Vishnu Priya actually, or Lakshmi Devi, whichever one this is, he had two marriages, represents the living entity, it's love for God. See, that's when the devotee love is awakened, you become qualified for this mystic marriage with the Lord. So this applies to the devotees here. They're marrying Lord Caitanya in that way, who represents the God in the conclusive reality, ultimate reality. You're in that inner circle now. See? In not just a marriage of flesh and blood and all this. Whether you're a man or a woman, you're marrying the Lord like this. You know, you're married. You're connected. You're bonded with the Lord. The Lord is your other half of your body. You know, like you know that, and when you're actually married, even in this world, the your husband or wife feels like the other half of your body. Matter of fact, when you're separated, you feel separation. You know, like, oh, I feel, you know, especially if you get divorced. I felt like I was cut in half when I was divorced. See, that's a bodily thing. See, so it's the same thing. See, this divorce never will happen with the Lord. It's eternal. And this is the marriage these pastimes are talking about. It's completely spiritual. It's to do with the spirit one. And so the soul is like that, and you can tell the soul has got this female aspect, whether you're in a male body or man's body, a male or female's body, because you have the emotion, the ecstatic emotion, the ecstatic feeling that comes in male or female. See, so that's why the scriptures say the soul is more like a female, and the Lord is the supreme male. See, so that's why even Lord Caitanya, God Himself, Krishna, comes in that aspect of a devotee with that emotional aspect, worshiping the Lord, because it's very juicy when you have the emotion. See, that's what He came to preach and to give us this very juicy experience of worshiping Him with this divine emotion. Yeah. Um, there's nothing like it. I mean, it makes you locked into this forever. See, it's a forever thing because it's always ever fresh. You know, never you get tired of it. Yeah, there's nothing in the world that everything we get tired of. We can even get tired of our own wives and husbands. That's why there's divorces. Eventually, one or the other gets rid of you, or you die. You get rid of you that way. Either way, you know. Um, It's all our family. We're separated at death, but here, this is forever. What we're doing here is a forever thing. This is the best deal. You know, Bill Gates and all these demons, they'll be separated from their power and their money at the time when the body dies. It's finished. Their whole thing, Leela here, their way they pass their time, everything is gone. It's finished. They don't take anything with them because that's all they were interested in is money and power, right? Why does anybody need billions of dollars? That's how, you know, a lot of these people in Hollywood now. I was they that's, you know, because the government can print money. They have unlimited money. They just print it out and they give bags of it to buy people off. That's called how Satan works, devil or Maya. They're buying people off to do terrible things. And especially in the people with money, and they're finding out in the football players and in the Hollywood. You notice how they got so much money they make? Doesn't it seem a little bit unusual? It's because they print it. It's unlimited. They give them a bunch of paper and they say they get them to sell their souls for a piece of paper. See, and it's really weird because I don't know. I just find it interesting. It's like watching a movie. Better than watching a movie to find out what's really going on amongst the demons. You know. And so anyway, I don't know. I was watching this one this morning. The NFL players, you know how much money they're paid, millions of dollars for the games for a year. You know, but this comes with a cost. Now they're losing their jobs and taking them off unless they, submit. They you see whether it like becoming like pansies. They're submitting to all this racist bullshit that they're teaching, and now they're being postered. They're putting on covers of magazines looking like, feminized. They sitting in bathtubs, looking like, like pimps, like being pimped off. you know. And so anyway, they've sold their souls, and all their money is being tracked by the people, their handlers. They can't get out. They're just totally entrapped. This is Maya, man. Maya is amazing. See, this is why this is freedom from everybody for everybody. Those persons in those situations can get out of it like this. The Lord will let them out. These people will not bother you because all the obstacles are my Lord's servants. All those persons harassing you are only harassing you because you serve them and you believe in them. But now they're waking up. Even people, they're saying, my God, what did they do? That's why there's suicides amongst a lot of these people, or they're being killed, and a lot of people. It's because Maya's getting rid of them, or they're just suiciding out. They just can't take it. There's no way out but death for them. They think. See? But there is a way out, and it's not death. That's the supreme way. The life is the way out. Come here, you get life. Everybody. I tell you, whatever side you're on, whatever situation that you're in, my God, our God, your God, but you don't know your God. I know my God, and my God's very powerful. He's exonerating everybody. He's giving freedom to everybody. This is the mercy of Lord Caitanya here. I didn't see it anywhere else in ISKCONs or Gaudius Meeting, not this mercy. This is special stuff, man. And we're already proving it. Look at people get love of God that Narayan Raj said would make many years, many lifetimes before you can get. They're getting it here. So whoever will believe in this word, at least test it out. You'll see it's very true. You can look at the examples here. What you read in the scriptures, you see is manifesting here more and more in the devotees. So you'll have a new life here. Whoever you are, whatever you are, you could be being pimped off by the devil over there. Maya. You know, you could be harassed, whatever. You come here, and the Lord will take care of you. Advaita said, when Lord Chaitanya wanted to go to Puri, from Navadvip, and it was really bad back then. It was these Muslims were guarding the rivers, and they had tollmen and all this stuff, and you could get killed to go from a journey like that, and it was kind of a long journey. And the Lord said, "No, I'm going to go, just like that. I'm going to go. God will, Krishna will protect you." And so Advaita said, and everybody's afraid, and Advaita said, "Listen, all the obstacles in this world are your servants." I'm telling you, it's so profound that when you get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, the obstacles become the servants of the Lord. And they say, "Oh, give this person passage, give this person passage." He's a servant of the one who created the Maya, created the illusion. He's the magician. The magician knows his tricks, right? Yeah, so everybody could be free very easily. Come here if you want life, if you want to see a way out. No matter how bad it's been for you and whatever mistakes you've made, all will be forgiven if that's what you really want. Yeah. So that's the beauty of being born at a time like this. There's a lot of motivation to find that, it's like you're chased into this direction if you want a way out, because this is much better than suicide. This is much better than compliance with being a slave, part of the George Orwell 1984 on steroids. Matter of fact, if enough of people overcome here, the world will be so purified that there will be no need. He will. You know how they were when the angels wanted to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of the things going on there. That's going on in our world now. All this pedophilia, all these killings of children, all this stuff is causing this. This is the karma being reaped. See, all this stuff going on, transgenderisms and all of that stuff, and people being bewildered. They don't, all of this crazy shit going on. All these teaching children these to be pedophiles and to be groomed and all in schools. This was going on in Sodom and Gomorrah, and there were only 5 people that were really religious. I mean, really, they were sincere and they stayed together and they tried to follow their principles, and God had compassion on them. And the angels came and said, "You 5, you go." But one of the 5 said, I think it was the father, said, "Well, what about these people? Come on, have compassion on them." He said, "Well, if a certain amount of them will be seen to be somewhat righteous, not like degraded so much like this, we'll let it go." But they couldn't even find anybody but those 5 in this whole big city. So the 5 went, and then the angels destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. You think they're just these bright, shiny angels like this? You know what they are? You know how they destroyed it? You could read it in the Bible. Sulfur and brimstone. See? So the angels are not always the kind of angels you think. They're the angels of destruction. See? That's what's happening now. These are the angels of destruction that are given reign over the earth. But, hey man, we are the way out here. I'm telling you all the truth. Whoever listens to this video out there, there's a way out, and you can be part of it. Look, already, what does it say in the Bible? There are going to be wars and rumors of wars. Are you hear a lot of rumors of wars? This is that time. Okay? But there's always a way out. See? This is it. It's a narrow gate. Go through the narrow gate, man. Go to the 1 in a million. Okay? This Sangha is 1 in a million of associations that you can really get out of this horrible thing coming down on the world. This very draconian thing. See? You'll get protection. Why? Because this all comes from the Lord. This is, it's just people are, it's just, what do you call, like a aggregate of karma upon the world. And people are just allowing it to happen because they don't see any way out, and it's either comply or be a martyr. You're trying to fight this. It ain't strong enough. The Lord, you have to get delivered, man. Just being a good person is not enough. You got to be a liberated soul, man. You got to be enraptured by God. That's the rapture. You come here, you'll experience the rapture. You'll be enraptured on a level of ecstatic worship of God. That's your freedom, man. That's the freedom here. Look at us. People who are like this, they're not sweating stuff. The threefold miseries are getting relief. I was seeing like Lalita. She was in so much pain, she didn't sleep all night, and she gave a wonderful class in ecstasy. And I saw Ranga was trying to help her, in the end, and she was saying, basically she's trying to be nice, but Krishna's helping me. I'm okay. Let me get back to this ecstatic worship, man. That's the best help of all. See? Freedom, man. Freedom from the three. They don't even. People are feeling the threefold miseries, but they've never identified that that's that thing. That's only because you serve Maya. Come serve my Lord. Come serve Lord Caitanya. He'll be your Lord. He's a wonderful, gracious Lord. He gives real grace, man. He gives you real divine emotions. He gives you a spiritual mind. He gives you freedom. and sovereignty in the truth. The truth is you're a spirit soul and you're meant to be eternally connected with the Supreme Spirit, called by different names and everything. Our Lord is Lord Caitanya. He's the most magnanimous and merciful incarnation. If you're a Muslim, you can worship Lord Caitanya, and Allah will become more important to you and more clear to you. If you worship Jesus Christ, you worship Lord Caitanya, Jesus will be more clear, more amazing to you. Okay? Worship Radha and Krishna, and you come and see the grace of Lord Caitanya, Radha and Krishna will shine even more in your worship. Hey man, my experience. I'm a devotee of Jesus. Jesus shines more more in my understanding than ever before because of the grace of Lord Caitanya. I'm telling you, man, those who come here, if somehow or other this message touches you, you're very fortunate because you've won the lottery 10,000 times over just simply by coming here because this is very rarely offered. Prabhupada was only getting you ready for this. Bhakti Siddhanta was only getting you ready for this. See, this is finishing that work. This work where you are like them in your eternal relationship with the Lord. Isn't that what we're doing here? We're making acharyas, people that actually are in the same relationship to the depth that Prabhupada was, that Bhakti Siddhanta was, that Bhakti Vinod was, that Krishna Das Kaviraj was. Why? Because you're getting the same grace they got. Look at Fanny says, I had no energy for 25 years. Now I'm buzzing with energy, replacing seepling pills with chanting. I've never felt so good. Now that's a testimony. Why people think this is sahaja if people are saying such things? Where do you get anything people saying those kind of things about those gurus out there? If this is, so unbona fide. See, it's all about witnesses. See? Oh, okay. The sun shines in my heart every day. Now that's pretty amazing. And Dean Smith says, Fanny is very happy now. Raganuga, see, you can tell Dean is also an ecstatic person. He's very happy now. River is happy. Devotees give real happiness to the world. Transcendental happiness. It's the best of all. Ever fresh, always a party. Birthday, every day for Krishna. No, we have a birthday for Krishna every day. It's amazing, huh? The appearance day of Krishna. You don't have to wait a whole year. The devotees have to wait a whole year for the appearance, and then they really don't. They just see the ceremony of worshiping Krishna, the external flowers and the belly ache you may get from eating too much prasadam and having too much sugar and stuff like that. The big feast. Sometimes you got to eat the feast at 12 o'clock at night. Now, can you imagine trying to? I used to eat these feasts at 12 o'clock at night when I was in those groups. I feel so lousy. I get a worse sleep I've ever got in my life. That's a tough way, man. This is much better. Fasting or no fasting, the Lord appears and everything's perfect. More perfect than fasting. See, fasting is still external bhakti. Yeah, it purifies, the body and the mind. Okay, that's fine, but this is even deeper cleansing. This is supreme cleansing. Why don't we chant a little bit here for a few minutes? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. I gotta move around a little bit here. I'll be right back here. You can take your microphone on, keep it on
Okay, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Can you hear
I'll be.
me?
Yeah, yeah, good. Jenny, keep it going. I'll be right back.
No, your picture's frozen, Maharaj.
No, I turned it off.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Anyway, you'll be back. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Your picture keeps freezing. Hare
I
Krishna,
told
Hare
you, I
Krishna.
turned it off.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare 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 Rama.
Actually, you know what? We're going to stop for a little bit here. I got to do some things, and well, I'll be back probably a little bit earlier. I'm going to walk and move around a little bit. Okay, Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Okay, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, devotees. Hare Krishna.